Mirëmbrëma, mirë se erdhët në ArTi. Kemi sonte një takim mjaft special. Vetëm para pak ditësh, një artist shumë i njohur, shumë i suksesshëm, një yll i rockut ka vizituar Tiranën. Pikërisht Daf McKagan. Dhe vetëm pak çaste para koncertit të tij në Tiranë, ai ka folur ekskluzivisht për ArTi.
McKagan e ka lajmëruar ardhin e tij në Shqipëri me këtë klip shumë domethënës. Është thuajse mes natë dhe avionin që vjen nga Miniu dhe sjell në Tiranë jo thjesht një band rocku si i Lodit, por një prej legjendave të kësaj muzike, Daf McKagan, është rreth një orë me vonesë, por ne kemi vendosur të presim. Më në fund, avioni që vjen nga Gjermania është ulur dhe anëtarët e bandës fillojnë të dalin një nga një. Ja ku shquajmë edhe Bjondin e gjatë, ish pjesëtarin e Guns N' Roses. Kanë fluturuar për më shumë se 18 orë që nga Los Angeles për ta startuar turin e tyre nga Shqipëria për promovimin e albumit të tyre të ri The Taking. Kitara e Daf gjatë tranzitit gabimisht ka mbetur në mënyi, por mendohet për zëvendësimin e saj me një tjetër të artistëve shqiptar. Nuk mund të humbasim rastin për të bërë një fotografi me Daf së bashku me përfaqësuesit e Living Room që mundsojnë sjelljen e artistëve të famshëm në Shqipëri. I shoqërojmë edhe gjatë rrugës për në hotel ku do të akomodohen. Pas një udhtimi shumë të gjatë, duhet të çlodhen, i pret koncerti i parë për një publik shqiptar. Dita e koncertit nis rreth drekës me një konferencë shtypi. Daf dhe anëtarët e tjerë të bandës janë shumë të çlirët, të hapur dhe kurioz për të mësuar për Shqipërinë dhe shqiptarët. Isaac, bateristi, shpesh merr përsipër të flas për të katërt sepse ka 2 ditë që ka ardhur nga Moska ku luante në një tjetër koncert. I njoh pak më mirë shqiptarët, thot ai me shaka. I përgjigjem me dëshirë pyetjeve për albumin e ri, por Daf, megjithëse është krenar për gjithçka ka bërë në të shkuarën si pjesëtar i grupit më të famshëm të rockut, Guns N' Roses dhe mëtej me Velvet Revolver, nuk ka shumë dëshirë të flas për atë kohë. Dëshiron të flas për të tashmen me këta djem të talentuar. Pas disa fotografive me gazetarët dhe kameramanët, është koha për intervistën në emisionin ArTi në digital. Rrugës për atje bisedojmë. Daf admiron Obamën, pas presidentit Kennedy, thot ai, Obama është presidenti më global për amerikanët. Pyet për gjuhën shqipe, për historinë, vitet e vështira dhe nëse e mbajmë mend kohën e perestrojkës. Teksa mbrin në studiot e digital, nuk mungojnë adhuruesit e tij që kanë dalë ta presin së bashku me stafin e emisionit ArTi. Pare se të hyjmë në studio, fotografi, shtrëngim me duarsh, me një legjend të muzikës rock, dhe jo vetëm, detajet na inspirojnë intervista ekskluzive.
Është hera e parë që ju flisni ekskluzivisht për fansat tuaja në Shqipëri, ndaj ne jemi të shtrënguar t'ju mbajmë më gjatë se zakonisht. Fundja kemi 20 vjet që e presim këtë moment. Është hera e parë që këndoni në Tiranë. Si ndiheni?
Well, I mean, Tirana, for me, being from the west coast of America, I've traveled a ton in my life, but Albania and the Balkan states, I've never been to, and it's pretty exotic to play my first show here. It's pretty exotic to be here.
E nisni turin pikërisht nga Tirana. Sa i rëndësishëm është për ju turi i parë, koncerti i parë i turit?
Well, the first show is always sort of the most nerve-wracking. We have a brand new record. Playing your first show for the new record is nerve-wracking enough to come to a brand new place and play it. Sometimes things are just supposed to happen like this.
Okay. Tek Lodit, në vend të gërmës A, ju keni një yll të kuq. Jemi shumë kurios të dim çfarë do me thoni e ka.
Well, okay, so we just about finished with the movie that the record is actually the soundtrack to, and the bound hands on the record are part of the movie. I don't want to give away too much of the mystique of the movie, but once you see the movie, the record cover will make sense.
Do t'i këndoni gjitha këngët tuaja në album sonte në show-un në Tiranë?
Most of the, yeah, we do most of the new record. We do songs from the last record, and all three of our records, and we actually even do some a couple Guns N' Roses songs, and stuff from sort of my whole career.
Po nga Velvet Revolver, do ket hite?
I don't know if we're going to do a VR, not tonight, not a VR song. We just don't have one in our set. There's no reason for it, but probably not tonight.
Okay. Jeni vokalisti kryesor tek Loadit.
Yes.
Çfarë ka tjetër ndryshe muzika nga ajo që ju keni luajtur në të kaluarën tuaj?
I think I do try to push my art, my songwriting, my music career in new directions. I try to not just stay in one place. I think Loaded is more experimental, maybe. We push it a bit more. We're not so worried about the commercial side of it. We just like to create music that, first of all, sounds good to us. And we've built up a nice following of loyal fans around this planet because we are kind of different. But I think if you're a fan of Velvet Revolver or Guns, you'll be a fan of Loaded. It's not too far removed.
Okay. Kënga juaj We Win është përdorur në mjaft aktivitete sportive.
Yeah.
E keni menduar ndonjëherë këtë gjë teksa e keni krijuar?
Am I a sports fan? So,
Yeah.
well, I think it just kind of came out that way. You know, I think those just the musical chords of the song, they sound like a sports song somehow. But no, we didn't intend it to be a sports anthem. I think when you try to write a song to be something, when you start thinking too much when you write a song, for me at least, I fail. So the song just happened, and Major League Sports in America and other places picked it up. Yeah.
Keni bërë pjesë në 2 prej grupet më të famshme të rockut, Guns N' Roses dhe Velvet Revolver. Çfarë mund na thoni nga eksperienca juaj me to?
Well, I think with both bands, in Guns N' Roses, we, as very young men, really learned how to write songs. We were like 21, 20 years old, 22, when we started writing those songs for Appetite for Destruction. And I learned from Guns N' Roses that it takes a chemistry of the right guys, the right people in a band to make it great. If one person is wrong, I'd played in a bunch of bands before Guns N' Roses. It wasn't until then, when I moved to LA and I was 20 and I met Izzy and Slash and Axl and Steven, that we knew we had the right 5 guys. Velvet Revolver was the same thing. It was the right guys at the right time. So I've learned from those 2 bands how to write with others, how to be a band, how to navigate really difficult personal situations.
Po me Loadit, është e njëjta gjë, është I njëjti bashkim I njerëzve të dur në kohën e dur?
We have a great writing, a wonderful writing chemistry, songwriting chemistry. There's not the big personalities in Loaded that I've had to deal with. You know, I mean, in Guns N' Roses, we weren't famous when we started. So the big personalities sort of developed as the band got bigger. Velvet Revolver, there was big personalities from the beginning. So Loaded is just a gang of 4 guys who write really well together and tour really well together.
Pse u shpërndan Guns N' Roses?
Say what? Sorry.
Pse u shpërndan Guns N' Roses?
Why did it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Separated. Guns N' Roses.
There's no one answer for that. It just got messy, personally messy, and there were so many people outside of the band, managers and record company and agents, and that were really, it wasn't handled very well. And I think we forgot that we were a band of, that we forgot that we started the thing, you know, and it was just the five of us. By 1993 or 4, there was, you know, 50 people in our organization, and we forgot who we were, probably.
Ndërkohë mendoj, jam e sigurt, janë të shumt ata që do donin të shihnin të ribashkuar. Ka ndonjë shans për këtë?
Oh, is there any chance? I don't know. I have no idea. I get asked that question a lot, and the answer is the same. You never know. You never know.
We hope so.
Okay.
Jeni ndarë nga Guns N' Roses prej 17 vitesh, por u bashkuat në një koncert në Londër me Axel.
Oh, our hotel rooms were right next door to each other. I happened
It
to be
was a coincidence.
Total coincidence, yeah. Yeah. So sometimes coincidence just sort of is also kind of fate. And for me, it was kind of just meant to happen.
Po si u ndje të ishit në të njëjtën skenë sërish me të?
That part was easy, you know. I mean, being on stage is easy for me. Playing in front of people, even being on stage with him, a guy I hadn't been on stage with for a long time. We grew up together. We came up together, so it was no big deal.
Do doni të ishit sërish me Axel në të njëjtën skenë?
I don't even think in those terms. You know, I live in the now, what's happening today, and today I'm playing a gig here in Tirana, and I've learned one thing so far in my musical career. Don't think about what's going to happen in 2 weeks or next week or in a year, because you can never tell what's going to happen.
Velvet Revolver është një projekt I cili vazhdon apo e keni mbyllur me të?
Oh, no, I think we're sort of on a, no, there's no singer now, and Slash is making a tour, making a record right now, and a new record, and I'm doing this tour, so maybe, I think the thing with Velvet Revolver, if the guy suddenly appears that's the perfect guy for our band, we'll pluck him out of somewhere, but right now we're not really looking. Yeah.
Cilat janë marrëdhëniet tuaja me miqt dhe bashkëpunëtorët tuaj, Matt, Slash dhe Izzy?
Great, we're best friends. Yeah.
Mendoni se ka ndryshuar ndopak industria e muzikës gjatë kësaj kohe?
Oh my God. Wow.
A difficult question.
It's just a big, long answer.
We'll make it short.
Short, yeah. Well, bands used to sell a lot of records, and rock bands just don't sell records like they used to because of file sharing and whatnot. So bands have to be really crafty on how they tour, and you know, if music's going to be your living, your professional thing, this is what I do for a living, you know? So you have to it's got to pay. So without selling records, you have to just kind of reinvent how you're going to tour and sell T-shirts and all of that kind of thing. And it's evolving, and I've seen it's evolved in front of my very eyes, you know? So it's grossly different than it was 20 years ago.
I understand. Çfarë bën ndërkohë një band rocku të suksesshme?
Timing. There's so many things. Timing. You gotta have great songs. You have to identify with an audience somewhere.
And performance, I think.
Performance, of course, yeah.
Ç'po ndodh me rockun sot, Daf? Dhe si e shikoni ju të ardhmen e rockut?
Rock music. Well, I mean, there's a lot of guys like my age. You know, there's Dave Grohl, the Foo Fighters, and a lot of bands that are like my peers, guys my age, or who are Green Day, those types of bands who are huge. And then there is sort of a second level bands like that are loaded size that can go and tour everywhere. There's a lot of bands touring, and there's a lot of young bands that I'm into. You know, I think it's alive and well. Rock and roll is and healthy.
Ju jeni dhe një këshilltar investimesh njëkohësisht. I sugjeroni të rive të investojnë në muzikën rock?
Good question. Well, you never think of music and money at the same time. If you're getting into music for money, it's the wrong idea. Period. And never do it for the money, because once you start thinking of money, rock music, it's so hard to make money doing it. The chances are really slim. And it's the wrong intention. Art is about sort of creating and something out of nothing. It's about passion. It's exactly right. It's not about money. So.
Okej, mund na thoni si është jeta e një rockstari?
I'll let you know when I meet one.
Cilët muzikant apo banda ju kanë frymëzuar më tepër?
Have I? All the time. I just saw Prince the other night in Los Angeles. Really, every time I see Prince, for me, it's like going to church. It's very inspirational as a human being, as a musician. There's a lot of there's a lot of artists I see that really inspire me.
Po për sa I përket relatave më të mira me kënga muzikantët I keni?
Do I? Yeah, a lot of them.
There are a lot.
A lot. I mean, I've been doing it for 25 years, so I know a lot of guys. I've got great relationships with,
Okay.
Jane's Addiction, Black Sabbath guys, you name it. Yeah, of course.
Dalemi në një pikë mjaft interesante. Keni qenë në të njëjtin avion me Kurt Cobain gjatë udhëtimit të tij të fundit, Los Angeles për në Seattle.
Yes.
Pak ditë më pas ai vrau veten. Si e kujtoni atë takim? Kishte diçka që nuk shkonte tek ai atë ditë?
It's another question I've been asked a lot about. It's not something I really I don't like to talk about it. I've written about it in my Seattle Weekly column, and I found that I could voice what I experienced better when I wrote it. Look, I was fucked up too then, and he was fucked up. We were both fucked up. So did I notice anything? We were both sad and miserable on that plane flight.
So you couldn't make the difference?
I knew he was miserable. He knew I was miserable. I had no premonition that he was going to kill himself in 2 days.
Daf, si ruhet jeta kur je I ri dhe aq I famshëm?
That's a hard question. Why does anybody commit suicide? You know, doesn't matter.
Well, maybe you'll talk about your experience.
Yes, I will. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I lost her.
Keni menduar ndonjëherë seriozisht të hiqni dorë nga muzika?
I heard that one more time. Sorry.
Keni menduar ndonjëherë të hiqni dorë nga muzika?
Give up? God, no. I could never. It's just such a big part of me. There's no reason to give up. Why would I give up?
I think so.
Yeah.
Kemi dëgjuar të flitet edhe për
I
një
mean,
film.
I think we all, in all of our careers, to temper that, I think we all have self-doubt in ourselves at times. Sure. But I could never actually just give up music, ever. Even if nobody came to see me or my band or whatever band I'm in at the time, I would still play music. I'd have to. It's just a part of me.
Kemi dëgjuar edhe për një film. Por do donim dinim diçka më shumë prej teje?
No.
Pse?
No.
Pse?
Huh?
Why not?
Because there's so little mystery left in life and in culture that this is the one thing I want to keep a mystery.
Okej, po për sa i përket librit tuaj It's So Easy, që pritet të dali në treg në fund tetori, do na thonin ndonjë gjë. Dhe sigurisht që duam edhe kopjet këtu në Tiranë të librit. Mund na thoni diçka rreth It's So Easy?
Well, because I've been writing columns, I was offered a Men's Italian Vogue that offered for me to write this article for them about 4 years ago. And I wrote this like 3,000 word article about Hollywood in 1987. And I wrote this article for Men's Italian Vogue, and I found that I could express myself writing way better than I could talking. So I wrote this, and it came out in Men's Italian Vogue, and Playboy offered me a job writing for them, a weekly column. And at the same time, the Seattle Weekly, a weekly newspaper, offered me a column. So all of a sudden, I was writing 2 weekly columns. And I started writing for ESPN also. So I was writing a lot, and people would ask me, all these questions you asked me about Guns N' Roses and Kurt Cobain, and a lot of people would ask me, how did you get, I'm sober, I don't drink and do drugs, but I used to do a lot of drugs and drink a lot. And people ask me about that period, like, how much did you do? How did you quit? And so I wrote really about that. I wrote about my view of things, how I came up, how my band came together, what I was doing, how I started drinking and doing drugs, and the kind of the culture that was around me. And then I ended up in the hospital, and so I wrote in a way that I think even like a normal person who hasn't done drugs and all of this stuff will really be able to go along in my head, in my journey, and on the way out. I mean, when I came out of that hospital and when I got sober, it was like being reborn, you know, like I'd been missing out on so much life, and getting my life back I felt electric, you know, for about 3 years. I really I was bouncing around, and I've learned now to like settle it down a little bit, but I shouldn't be here, you know. I should have been dead in that hospital in 1994, so every morning that I wake up, it's a good day for me.
Të mund na thoni në lidhje me raportin e gazetarëve me librin që ju keni botuar dhe me muzikën, ka ndryshim mes relatave të gazetarëve?
Oh, I don't know. Journalists talking. I don't read very much what people write. How they're going to write about my music, I learned a long time ago. I used to get really pissed off, really angry. Like, I'd see a bad review and like, that's just that guy's opinion. Yeah, that's all it is, that guy's opinion. I know what my music and what my writing and everything means to me, and that's where it starts and that's where it ends. Yeah.
Jeni shprehur se ju urreni shumë reality show. Për çfarë arsye? Mund na shpjegoni?
Reality shows. Well, yeah, how do you know this stuff?
We are good informated.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, okay. I wrote, yes, that I don't like reality shows. I live with 3 women, my wife and my 2 daughters.
We know that.
The daughters are 10 and 13, and they all watch reality TV. Now, I walk into a room and they're all watching a reality show, and it's just girls, like, it's too much girl stuff for me. I need like guy stuff, and I don't hate reality TV, but my wife did a reality show, I think just to make fun of me.
Married to Rock.
Yeah, and then she asked, goes, you know, you have to be on my show. Now my wife has done so much for me over the last 14 years since we've been together. So for me to say no to her would wouldn't make any sense in our relationship because she's done everything I wanted to do. Hey, we're moving back to LA. Hey, I'm going to go to school. All of these things, I've changed our path. It's always been led by me. So this was the one time she asked me to do something for her. So I did it. I was a good sport and did her show. I was on it like a couple times. Does it air here? Does that show air here?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Probably will soon.
Ndërkohë, ç'mund ta thoni tjetër për familjen tuaj? A ju shoqërojnë ato nëpër ture, nëpër koncerte?
They do, yeah. They're not here, but the girls are still in school until June 8th. So yeah, the girls have my girls grew up going around the world with me on rock tours and yeah, even our dog, like everybody comes out and my girls have grown up really seeing the world. They're world citizens. You know, we're Americans. We're from the USA, but my daughters have grown up world citizens. They think outside of the US, and that's a big bonus of touring and traveling with your family.
Dim që njëra nga vajzat tuaja luan kitare, në mos gabojmë. Kush nga to?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Wrong information.
No, yeah, no, they think what I do is kind of nerdy and a little embarrassing.
Do me thënë, asnjë nga vajzat tuaja nuk ka ndërmend të ndjeki rrugën e teatrit.
No. No. My oldest daughter is 13. She sings, but she does it privately, and I think she'd love to be like a pop star one day. She's very flamboyant, and she'd love to be a pop star, but you know, rock music to her is a little embarrassing. That's like her mom and dad's music.
Shpenzoni shumë kohë me familjen tuaj?
Do I? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I walk the girls to school every morning and
I rikthehemi pak turit tuaj që nis nga Shqipëria për të shkuar në shumë qytete botërore. Cili është vendi që ndiheni më rehat, si në shtëpinë tuaj, le të themi, përveç Seattle?
You know, if I'm with my wife and kids, I feel at home anywhere. It doesn't matter where I am. When I don't know, Seattle is home. I mean, it really is home. I've lived in LA and I've done all of that stuff, and I really realized that Seattle is my home. I am from someplace. I feel comfortable in Ireland. I have a lot of family there. And London, I feel really comfortable. I do like Albania. It's very nice and sunny and warm, and but somehow I like the colder climates for some reason. I don't know.
Mund të na thoni ndonjë gjë rreth turit që keni ndërmarrë nisur nga sonte, koncerti që do të performoni në Tiranë dhe mëtej në qytete të tjera?
Well, I'll say that this begins probably a solid year of touring for this record, and it would certainly be cool to like build up an Albanian audience and maybe come back and play here again and play some of the other Balkan countries down here. But yeah, I'm just excited to play tonight.
Haruam t'ju bëjmë dhe një pyetje të rëndësishme në fakt. Pse jeni rikthyer studimeve në moshën 30 vjeçare? Ndërkohë që ishit të suksesshëm.
Why did I go to school? Oh, because I got sober. I woke up one day. I made some money in my 20s. I didn't know how money worked. Didn't know what a stock or a bond was. I didn't know anything. I really didn't know what a mortgage of a house was. I was paying all these bills, and I didn't know what it was I was paying. I didn't know if I was going to be broke by the time I was 40. I had no idea. So I went to business school to learn for myself about the money I'd earned. I saw it going out to everybody else, you know, except for me. So I stopped all that and learned how to make my money work for me.
Dhe tani jeni ju që jepni këshilla të rinjve, apo jo?
That, yes, I do. I started a new company that's doing that. And, yeah.
Meridian Rock. Çfarë është kjo?
What is Meridian Rock? That's
Meridian
the
Rock.
firm. That's the company I was talking about. Yeah.
Ne të gjithë si staf e kemi ruajtur zërin, pasi do bëjmë shumë zhurmë sot në koncertin e Duff McKagan dhe
Oh,
Loaded.
good. I'm glad to hear that.
Ju
I'm
na
trying to
premtoni
preserve
po
my
aq
voice
zhurmë?
too. We're going to make a lot of noise. I will make a lot of noise. Yeah. You know, really just excited. It's kind of a big place for us to play, especially our first time. I know our record's not out here. It's available just by iTunes, right? Yeah?
Sa mendoni se do të zgjas koncerti? Sa do të zgjas?
Hour and a half, maybe more.
Forget it. Harroje, ne nuk të lëm. Do të mbajmë shumë më tepër se
okay.
kaq.
All right. All right. Well, thank you.
Ndërkohë keni ndonjë dedikim të veçantë për fansat tuaj në Shqipëri?
I have learned, I have it on my BlackBerry. I have a friend who's Albanian. He lives in
Really?
Seattle. Yeah, Edward. And he sent me all these Albanian phrases. So I'm going to practice them tonight live.
But you don't remember now.
No, because they're just written down in the email.
Okay.
He wrote them phonetically so I could pronounce them.
Ju falenderojmë shumë që pranuat ftesën tonë sonte në emisionin ArTi, duke ju uruar shumë suksese në turin tuaj.
Thank you.
Dhe duke shpresuar që Tirana është një nismë e mbar për vazhdimin e turit.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you so
It
much.
was a pleasure for us.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Por nuk ka mbaruar gjithçka këtu. Pas intervistës, Duff preferon të shkojë në stadium ku do të bëjë sound check. Në gjuhën muzikore nuk kuptohet testimi i instrumenteve, tingullit dhe fonisë. Publiku i parë i tij janë disa artistë shqiptar me solist këngëtarin Gent Bushpepa, që do të jenë edhe supporting band para koncertit të mbrëmjes. Gjithçka kontrollohet dhe testohet deri në detajet më të vogla. Absolutisht asgjë nuk duhet të jetë larg nivelit që kërkon menaxheri i turit Jason, i cili ka qenë ndër të tjera për shumë vite menaxheri i tureve të Guns N' Roses. Mbrëmja bie shpejt dhe gjithçka është gati. Ndërsa atmosfera po ndizet nga zëri i këngëtarit shqiptar Gent Bushpepa, ne shkojmë të shohim se ç'po bëjnë anëtarët e Lodit. I gjejmë ata duke luajtur një lojë futbolli, ku lojtarë janë vetë ata. Po bëjnë shaka mbi vendosje në fushë të pjesëtarëve të bandës së tyre. Në sulm është Duff. Përshëndetje djem, si po ja çoni?
Po ja kalojmë për mrekulli.
Jeni të entuziazmuar për këtë koncert?
Po, shumë.
Si ndjeni për koncertin? Për pak minuta do të jeni në skenë.
Po, ndjem shumë mirë dhe entuziazmuar që jam në Shqipëri. Do të shpërngulem këtu.
Ti Isaac ke ardhur më herët se sa të tjerët.
Po, kam 2 ditë që kam ardhur dhe më kanë trajtuar shumë mirë. Më kanë qerasur me kafe. Në fillim isha pak i friksuar, por pastaj të gjithë ishin shumë të sjellshëm me mua. Nuk e di, ndoshta sepse isha vetëm në një vend ku nuk e qenë kurrë më parë. Është pak e frikshme se çdo gjë është e huaj për ty, por shumë shpejt u mësova dhe të gjithë më kanë trajtuar për mrekulli këtu. Njerëzit më trajtonin mirë. Janë të bukur. Ushqimi ishte po ashtu shumë i mirë dhe kjo më pëlqen.
A ju pëlqeu konferenca e shtypit?
Po, ishte shumë fani. Ti na bëre pyetje shumë të mira. Mësuam se je profesioniste.
Fansat janë rreshtuar për të pritur me zjarr Duff McKagan.
Things that you did tell me why